Yeah, I think there's a misconception that we have to do things a European way because that's the dominant culture of the US. You know, a lot of our media, a lot of our movies, it's a European implant. And the research that excites me most is on the blue zones in these 5 areas of the world where people live to over 100 disease-free. And, you know, in my 20s, it was like living for the day. And then, you know, you have a kid and you think,
Right.
you know, I kind of would like to be a grandmother. You know, I kind of want to
Hmm.
see how this is going to play out.
Yeah.
So you start to think a little bit more about a longer scope of
Hmm.
vision. You know, I want
Longevity.
longevity. You start to think in the future in a
100%.
different way. And so you hear about these areas, Okinawa, Japan, Nicoya, Costa Rica, Sardinia, Italy, Icaria, Greece, Loma Lima, California, these places where people are living to 100, disease-free. They're not on any pharmaceuticals. They're not dependent.
So why do they live?
Well, they're all permaculture gardeners. I mean, you get to the
That's
heart of it. They're just like backyard gardeners.
They're living off the land.
They're living off
for
the earth. And so
real.
they're using their
Wow.
bodies. You know, sitting is the new smoking. And so in those areas, they're getting out in the garden every day. They're harvesting their food. They're making fresh produce. Here in the U.S., the average head of broccoli travels 1,800 miles. So you can call it fresh produce, but boy, it's not fresh.
It's marketing. Yeah.
You know, it's been sustained, but it's not fresh. And so these people are eating fresh foods. They're integrated in a community, like a real community, not just a consumer community, but like, hey, how are you? You know, in a real way. I don't want the sound bite of fine and how are you? It's no, let's get together, let's support each other. And a lot of the support is interesting. Like in Okinawa, Japan, they have farming days where they go to each other's gardens. These are not, you know, big ag farms of rows of just a single crop. I mean, it's a permaculture garden. So gardening's a pleasure. It's joyful to be out there. There's shade, there's dappled light, there's birds and butterflies and the beauty. And then they can
Sunlight.
have lunch together. You know,
Yeah.
let's do this. Let's spend the day doing what is joyous and beautiful and bring the kids and or the grandkids wherever you are, you know, in life. And so I want all the plants that are in the categories of sustenance. You know, I want the macronutrients, I want the micronutrients, and I want the phytonutrients. And I want a solid 20 plants that I can make recipes, simple recipes. So in the blue zones, each of the recipes is about 6 ingredients. No big deal. On average, takes about 30 minutes. Hey, it's like if it's overly complicated, the people in the blue zone ain't got time for that.
No, humans like to do things easy. They're not. Our ancestors weren't different than us.
No, absolutely not.
Cook it up.
Cook it up. Eat it.
Yeah.
Get some friends over.
Yeah.
Let's have this. Let's do a little party.
This is so good though. I just want to like recap what you're talking about because guys, this is amazing. Like to think like this, right? Like, oh, instead of like, oh, what are the 20 things on my grocery list in my grocery store? What are the 20 things we could grow here?
Right.
That like hit all these marks, right?
Right.
That's so cool. So what are some of those plants and like that you cook up?
So basically your top 20 plants need to fall into a certain percentile to make sure that you get all your nutrients and you can actually live off of it. So 60% are your macronutrients, your carbs and protein oils and your fats. These would be things like pigeon pea, winged bean, coconut, jackfruit, things that you can live off this. Sweet potato, sustenance.
Right.
And
Pigeon pea,
purple sweet potato. So in Okinawa, Japan, about 70% of their diet, of the healthy ones, for most of their life was purple sweet potato. So it just falls right in line with 60% macronutrients.
super healthy, the sweet potato.
Yeah, and who eats purple? Like you have to really make an effort. Purple and blue.
They grow beautifully here.
Yeah.
They grow so well.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yes, and blue butterfly pea, throw it in.
Right. Blue
You
right
got
there.
blue and purple right there.
Grows well.
So 6 of your plants are your macronutrients like
Yep.
coconut and jackfruit and pigeon pea. And then you've got your micronutrients, which should be 30%. And those are your leafy greens. You can go with katuk and chaya and even
Got
longevity spinach. And then you could do the flesh of sweet potato. The leaves are the flesh of pumpkin, the leaves of sweet potato, things that are kind of colorful but nutrient dense. And then the 10% left over is for your phytonutrients like herbs and spices. So rosemary, sage, the things that are your medicine cabinet.
Right.
Yeah.
That's amazing. And so obviously you've done a lot of research for like you and your family, but
Oh, yeah.
aren't you like putting together a book that's coming out?
Yes. So all of the cheat sheets that I made for the family, I made 200 of them.
Wow.
So by the time we got to 200, I was like, oh, I think they're ready to share. But I also have people give me plants. Like I didn't have pomegranate, and somebody gave me pomegranate, and that's a relevant one. It's a micronutrient type plant.
Yeah, totally. It's super good for you. But do you have good success with it growing?
I'm giving it a go.
Nice.
And if I do have success, I'll make a cheat sheet.
Okay.
And so that's kind of my bar. Is if something
Yeah.
succeeds, and I have enough to eat it. Well, now we need a cheat sheet so I know how to eat it safely.
Amazing.
Or how to use so much of it. I mean, we've got a lot coming in here. And you learn the upper limits of a certain food, right? So green banana, there is an upper limit to how much green banana.
It's good to know.
A lot of resistant starch. And so your gut flora is super happy. But you want to, for us, it's like 2 cups a day is pretty much all
That
of
makes
it.
sense. Like that's why the Puerto Rican, they're like, don't eat too many tostones. Yeah.
Yes, you will feel pregnant.
That makes sense. Hey guys, so if you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe below. And we'll see you in the next one.